What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my post-weigh-in final thoughts live stream for UFC 311. We have Islam Makhachev taking on Renato Moicano. And yeah, pay-per-view card here, first pay-per-view of the year. And about a week ago, this card was looking phenomenal, just stacked from top to bottom. We had some really fun fights on the card. We had Johnny Walker, Bogdan Guskov would have been hilarious. We had Zachary Reese versus SD Dumas, but we lost Johnny Walker. We lost SD Dumas. We did get some newcomer replacements for them. And then today at weigh-ins, we had something happen that just, I don't know, completely shuffled the card. We lost the main event. We lost Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. And not only that, we lost Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Arman pulls out due to a back injury. And it looks like they're doing Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. Initial reaction was, yeah, Islam is going to be minus 1,000. And he was minus 1,000 at one point. He's now minus 1,200. So it sucks, especially from a gambling perspective, because I lost like half my action there. I had a bet on Arman Tsarukyan, Islam Makhachev. I had the fight to start round 4. Probably got the most line movement beat ever. Got it like minus 132. It was like minus 275. And then I also had 2 bets on the Dariush Moicano fight. So I lost those 2 bets as well. So as a gambler, I'm very upset. Lost a ton of action on the card. From a fan perspective, I guess it's cool. Like Islam Moicano, it's a cool fight. I think it's going to be violent. I think it's going to be dominant. I think we're going to get a good finish. But I really wanted to see the Moicano-Dariush fight. That fight was going to be one of the better fights on the card. So overall, I'd say the situation sucks, at least in my opinion. But at least we do still have a main event. But geez, I just don't think it's going to be competitive. But yeah, we'll talk about the main event and much more. Before we get into, if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment if you guys are watching on the replay. And yeah, going to be going live tomorrow for Best Bet at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So tune in there. And then I'm going to be recording my best bet, my betting breakdown video shortly after this. Got all my action in. Was maybe looking at a parlay, but I don't know. We'll see. What is up, everybody in the chat? Hopefully you guys are doing well. We got Amma saying Moicano fighting Islam. That's whack. Losing Dariush on the card too, it looks like. Yeah, I do think it's kind of whack. I think it's definitely whack. But, you know, they got to do what they got to do. They got to find something. It's weird they didn't have a backup fighter ready to go for the main. Like, you know, typically they have been doing that. They have been bringing in backup fighters, but this time all of a sudden they don't. So just weird situation there. And yeah, we lost Beneil Dariush Moicano, which would have been a phenomenal fight. I'm sure Money Moicano worked out more money. Yeah, absolutely. So he wins either way. Losing will be more money than winning against Dariush. Yeah, he's getting a big payday, stepping in on short notice to take on Islam Makhachev. That's for sure. There goes Dariush plus 135. Yep, I had Dariush at plus 165. Beat a ton of line movement, and all that CLV gets thrown into the trash. What's up, Brady and viewers? Hope 2025 off to a great start for everyone. Yeah, last week was a really good week. Shout out to Mark Smith for stopping the Kopylov-Curtis fight with 1 second to go. Cashed a big fight, ends in round 3, bet at plus 900, and hoping to keep it going here. Did lose a lot of action with the shuffling around of fights, but still some spots sticking out. We got David saying, Brady, what is up? What is up, David? Dariush was such a good dog, too. Yeah, I liked him. Beat some line movement as well, but... And yeah, Dariush will not be getting a new fight, which sucks. So no, Dariush will not be fighting on UFC 311. Parker saying, let's get the show on the road already. JC Parker, you commented this at like 4:16. So I'll take it as you're joking. I hope you're joking, but if not, if you're being dead serious, get some help. Get some help. But I'll take it as you're joking because I was like 1 minute late, if that. Sped saying, yo, Brady, congrats on going to the best event of last year. Yeah, there weren't a ton of fun events last year. You had the whole glove situation, a lot of decisions last year. But yeah, Tampa was a fun card. Tampa in general. I think I had too much fun in Tampa. So yeah, that was fun. We got Chinchek MMA. What's up, Brady? What is up, Chinchek? The best possible replacement, is it? I mean, Islam's minus 1,200. I don't know. I mean, it should be fun, but in terms of it being competitive, I don't know. Makhachev is not the best fighter in the UFC today. Anyone thinking that is brain damaged? Seriously. Well, a lot of people disagree with you, Art. A lot of people disagree with you. Let's see. Can Moicano pull off the upset? I think it's possible considering how Islam looked against Dustin. I don't believe so. But we'll see. Moicano cannot afford to lose. He can't. All right. So, yeah, guys, we have 13 fights to talk about. I say we get right into it. We're going to kick it off with the first fight on the card. We have Tagir Ulanbekov going against Clayton Carpenter. And we have Tagir Ulanbekov, who is currently minus 305, and Clayton Carpenter is plus 255. So this is one where I did want to see the weigh-ins. I wanted to see Ulanbekov on the scale here. And yeah, he looked fine. He came in, made weight, looked good. So I think Tagir does win this fight. I don't have any bets on this fight, and I'm probably not going to get to it, but I think Tagir is a fine parlay piece this week. I think Tagir by decision's not a bad look. That's kind of the spot I'm looking at. I think best price on that Tagir decision's minus 110. And I like Carpenter. I think Carpenter has a very bright future. I've made a lot of money betting on this guy. Bet on him to beat Juan Camilo Ronderos inside the distance. Same thing in his last fight against, I think it was Lucas Hocha. But I'm not going to be betting on Clayton Carpenter here. I think it's a tough matchup for him. I think Tagir is just going to be a little bit better wherever the fight goes. If Tagir did come in with a tough cut, missed weight, and looked like he did in the Joshua Van fight, then at that point I would have probably took a sprinkle on Carpenter. But yeah, Tagir looked fine, and I think he'll be fine on fight day. So yeah, Tagir, Ulanbekov, Tagir by decision, but he's one of the many big favorites on the card. We got the moderator, Dixon, in the building. Smash a like button. I agree with Dix. If you guys could smash that like button. He cannot afford to lose, and you cannot afford to fade him at minus 900. He has a big dog, biggest dog on the card, I believe. Yeah, Islam's now a bigger favorite than Peyton Talbott. I like Tagir by decision. I like it as well. I think if I might do like a Hail Mary parlay, maybe Tagir by decision might be the first leg in there. So, but yeah, Tagir by decision I think is the way to kick off the card here. Moving on to the next fight, we got Bernardo Sopaj going against Ricky Turcios. We have Sopaj is minus 235. Turcios is plus 200. So this was a fight we were supposed to see about 2 months ago. Turcios pulled out, and I like Sopaj here. The problem with this fight is I'm just not sure how he wins because Sopaj is dangerous. He is a finisher. He has some grappling. He does have power. I am leaning Sopaj by decision, but what is kind of weird to me is money's coming in on Ricky Turcios. I don't know who's betting on this bum, but money is coming in on Ricky Turcios. He at one point was plus 300. He's now plus 200. And Sopaj at one point was minus 400. He's currently minus 235. So not sure what's really going on. I don't really like Ricky's chances in this fight at all. Outside of Sopaj completely death gassing, I think Ricky's in trouble here. I mean, Ricky Turcios never been high on the guy. Both of his wins are split decisions against Brady Heastan and Kevin Natividad. His losses aren't great as well. So, yeah, I think this is Sopaj. Sopaj could be any method, but, yeah, the line's coming down. So I'm going to monitor this line. I think Sopaj is a fine parlay piece, especially at minus 235. I just don't get this line movement. But, yeah, Sopaj, I'll pick him to win by decision, but I think he could finish as well potentially. How can we bet against the guy that can't afford to lose? Well, he said that when he was supposed to fight Dariush. Now, I don't know. Now things might have changed. But yeah, Moicano is a big, giant dog. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be taking a shot on Moicano. I will not be one of those people, but I do have a bet on the main event, actually. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Rinya Nakamura going against Moin Gafurov. So before before we lost the Dariush and Moicano fight, and before we lost the Saruki and Makhachev fight, I probably set a personal CLV record. Got a ton of CLV this week, mostly in that Dariush fight and Armin fight. But got some more CLV here. I took a shot on the fight doesn't go to decision in Nakamura, Moin Gafurov, plus 160. It's now plus 125. I think Nakamura can finish here. Nakamura, he didn't finish that last, Carlos Ferreira in his last fight. He didn't finish Fernie Garcia, but I think he can get back to his finishing ways. And he kind of talked about it after that win against Carlos Ferreira. It's like he wasn't happy with the performance. And why should you be? You should be destroying 40-year-old Carlos Ferreira, finishing that dude. And he didn't. So I think he's going to try to go out there, get the finish here. And he's going against the guy in Gafurov, who I think is very chinny. You go watch Gafurov fight. He's getting dropped in pretty much every single fight he's in. I don't think he has a great chin. Never officially been knocked out, but like I said, he's getting dropped. He's getting hurt in every single fight. And then on top of that, I think he's gassy. I think he slows down massively as the fight goes on. So I think it's going to be a fun scrap here. I think these guys are going to get after it. I think both guys are going to try to take each other's heads off. And of course, we know Rinya has that grappling. So I'm kind of thinking it's a Rinya late finish here. I like the fight doesn't go at plus money, and I'm on that for a unit. So yeah, give me violence here in this one. I think Rinya finally gets back into his finishing ways. Brady, please don't drop the Sopaj. Okay. All right, I won't. What does finish only mean in bets? Finish only means if the fight goes to decision, you are going to get refunded. The bet's going to push. So say, for example, you bet the finish only on Ricky Turcios. If Ricky finishes the fight, you win your bet. If he loses by finish, you lose your bet. If it goes to decision, no matter who wins, the bet is voided and you get refunded. Gafurov decision would be wild because this guy doesn't really win. I think he has maybe like 2 decision wins. Gafurov's a finisher. Let me see. Gafurov has a 89%. I kind of think if Gafurov's winning, he's maybe touching the chin of Nakamura early. But yeah, I don't like his cardio. Gafurov by decision is a hot take, in my opinion. Zach Reese finish only good. Yep, I like it. We'll talk about that fight. I like that as a spot that I think makes a lot of sense. Sopaj Nakamura, Umar, plus money. Does it hit? I'll say yeah, but I don't like the line on Umar personally. We got Toby and Tiny 1235 Liam's World. What is up? Saying Brady the GOAT, been watching since COVID. Big fan. I always listen to Brady first when I'm doing my research. DFS. Appreciate that. And yeah, appreciate that. Let me see here. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is Carol Rosa going against Eileen Perez. And we have Carol Rosa minus 240, Eileen Perez plus 205. And yeah, it was kind of weird. So Carol Rosa was sitting around minus 170 for literally weeks. And then all of a sudden, I think it might have been like Monday night, just somebody dropped an absolute bomb. No, you're not muted. You're not muted. So somebody dropped an absolute bomb on Carol Rosa. And I'm like, what's going on? Carol Rosa literally went from minus 170 to minus like 300. And I'm like, is Eileen Perez hurt or what's going on? Like Carol Rosa, she probably shouldn't be minus 300 here. So yeah, somebody dropped an absolute bomb on Rosa. And since then, money has came back in on Perez, rightfully so. Carol Rosa should not be minus 300 really against anybody. But kind of how I'm attacking this fight is I think Carol Rosa as a live bet makes a ton of sense. I think she's going to lose the first round. I'm actually pretty confident she's going to lose the first round. I think Perez has enough in the tank to go out there, take her down, win some minutes. But the problem with Perez is a couple things. This is going to be a big step up in competition for Eileen Perez. This is not Lucy Pudilova. This is not Ashley Evans Smith. This is Carol Rosa, who's very good. Carol Rosa is going to have a massive striking advantage. Carol Rosa is a black belt in BJJ. And what I noticed is, Eileen Perez does slow down as the fight goes on. And my prediction here is like if she's getting resistance, because she's gotten no resistance yet. The only time she has got resistance was against Stephanie Egger, and Egger choked her out easily in the second round. I think she's going to come and get some resistance here, and I don't think she has the cardio to push a wrestling heavy pace here against Rosa, especially for 15 minutes. So I think the Carol Rosa finish props, the late props are definitely in play. Eileen Perez, she's never lost a decision. She has 2 losses. One was a DQ. The other one was that Stephanie Egger second round submission. And I could see Eileen Perez looking great, looking incredible in the first round. But when she starts having to battle some adversity, getting some resistance, I think she is going to slow down. And we saw Lucy Pudilova like seconds away from finishing Eileen Perez in that third round. So I think Carol Rosa could be live for a late finish here, whether it's a submission. Like I said, she's a black belt. I think Eileen Perez's submission defense is very suspect, or it could even be a TKO here. So I like Carol Hosa round 2, round 3 props. Got round 2 plus 1,400, round 3 plus 1,800. They are better prices. I think I saw on FanDuel, round 3 was like plus 2,000. But yeah, I like those Carol Hosa round 2 long shot. If she's ever going to get a finish, it's going to be late, and it's going to be in this fight. As far as a money line, I would not lay minus 240 on Carol Hosa. I would simply just live bet her after the first round. I'm pretty confident Eileen Perez wins the first round there. So yeah, live bet on Carol Hosa, and 2-3 for Carol Hosa are spots that I do like quite a bit. Do you like the Umar over 0.5 knockdowns at plus 135? I don't hate it. I think there is a chance he could knock down Merab. Merab's been knocked out, or knocked down Merab, and Merab's been knocked down a couple times. We got Clark saying, good day, Brady. I'm here for my coffee and stream in the morning. I've missed if you've talked about the fight changes. Do we know what's happening with Beneil Dariush? Beneil Dariush will not be fighting on the card, which it is a shame, but it is what it is. So no Beneil Dariush. We lost a very good fight there. Moicano's shoulder still looks disgusting. It'll be interesting to see how that affects him. Eileen Perez, aka Mini Khabib. Yeah, she's looked like it, but she's looked like it against, again, Ashley Evans Smith, Lucy Pudilova, Jocelyn Edwards. Just not the best competition. So it's and then Daria Zelnikova, who's awful. So definitely a step up here. Rosa KO round 2, 28-1, and KO 3, 35-1. I think they're in play. Perez for 2 takedowns could be something if the odds suit. Yeah, I know on Prize Picks they had Perez at 2 takedowns. I'm not sure if it's still there, but I think she gets at least 2 just in the very first round. Brady, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate Eileen Perez's OnlyFans content? I'd say like it's the middle of the road. You know, she does some good work. I'll say like a 5.5, maybe a 6. You know what? We'll go 5.5. Eileen Perez can't afford to lose. We got you and Weezy are number 1 pound for pound. Appreciate you, Joss. Their ass, Dixon. Oh, you're talking about her content? You think her content's ass? She has some fire. Dang, Dixon. I'm not subscribed to the OnlyFans. I wouldn't know, but I can tell you one thing. It's probably better than Jessica Andrade's OnlyFans. I'll tell you that right now. RDR will win. We'll talk about that fight. Thank you for doing this stuff. By the way, we all appreciate the entertainment and insight. Appreciate you, George, for checking it out, man. All bets are off. Yeah, I lost a couple bets with the shenanigans that happened this morning. Sai saying, yo, Brady, what's good, man? Thanks for the insight as always. No problem. Islam 2.5 takedowns, super viable on Prize Picks. I wouldn't touch that personally. I think this could end quickly. Perez sucks. If you don't believe me, Google Eileen Perez sucking. I'm not going to Google that, especially not live on stream, because then I won't be allowed to ever stream again. So you guys can Google that on your own time. With all the big female favorites that lose, I'm pretty sure if I bet the underdog every time, I'd be up big. I'm pretty sure you would be right. Don't have the data on that, but I'm pretty sure you'd be right. Speak for yourself. Making money is easy when you follow Brady and Uncle Weezy. I hope so, man. I lost my favorite bet of the week, though, so we'll see. I think Perez gave Armin AIDS. I hope not. Confidence rank, please. Ulanbekov, Sopaj, Nakamura, Dawson, Almeida, Umar. Number 1, Almeida. Number 2, Nakamura. Number 3, Sopaj. Number 4, Dawson. Number 5, Ulanbekov. And my least confident, believe it or not, is Umar Nurmagomedov. I think it's gonna be a close fight that he wins, but a close fight nonetheless. DFF lineups have to change out. Luckily, I didn't start creating them yet, so that's good because everything completely changed. We lost a big fight, and now I'm gonna have even more Islam. All right, so we'll keep moving on to the next fight. We got Grant Dawson going against Diego Ferreira. We have Grant Dawson is currently minus 235. Carlos Diego Ferreira is plus 200. So in terms of the weigh-ins today, I'll say Carlos Diego Ferreira probably looked the worst out of everybody. Didn't look awful, Didn't look terrible, but he did probably look the worst out of everybody, which is expected. This guy's 40 years old at this point, probably cuts a lot of weight. But yeah, Carlos Diego Ferreira did not look great at the weigh-ins, which you don't really like to see here if you're on the Ferreira side, I'd say. For me, I think that, Ferreira's been looking good, maybe a career resurgence in a way, but, the guy's still 40 years old. And I think people might be overrating his last win against Rebecki a little bit. I think Rebecki's solid, but Rebecki also has just trash cardio. He's gassed out before. He gassed out against Nick Fiore. And yeah, Rebecki won the first round, gassed out in round 2, and CDF definitely took advantage. But, Grant Dawson is not going to gas out. Grant Dawson, ever since moving to American Top Team, I think he's fixed that cardio. He's been working on that ground and pound. I think it's a really good spot here for Grant Dawson. Younger guy by like 10 years. Yeah, I like Dawson here. And I think Dawson's live to do what Dawson does. Get takedowns, get to the back, control. And now all of a sudden he's able to implement this ground and pound in as well. So I think Dawson breaks Ferreira as the fight goes on and gets a late finish. I'm on the Dawson 2-3 props. They're not the best number. Typically with Grant Dawson, he wins in round 2 and round 3 all the time, and they're always really good numbers. But now we're getting plus 750 for round 2 and then plus 1100 for round 3. I didn't want to mess around with the KO or the sub. I do lean KO, but if Ferreira's retired, it could be a sub as well. But I like 2-3 for Dawson. I think they're very much in play. I think Dawson, like round 3 decision, makes a lot of sense as well. But yeah, Ferreira, he's been knocked out 3 times. He's been broken before in fights. 40 years old at this point. Tough weight cut. I think Dawson 2-3 is super, super live here. So give me Grant Dawson to get the job done. What are you guys liking for this fight here? Perez only gave Armin the clap. Oh, boy. Oh, my. Dariush by decision was my house, a down payment. Yeah, I liked Dariush as well. Interesting. Hit the like. Agreed. Renato Moicano pulls it out and screams and pulls it out and thanks screams in the interview. I got all the money, you bitches. Oh, boy. Diego was crying. Was he crying? I didn't notice that. So maybe it was a worse cut than I thought. Jeez. Barcelos always looks terrible. Moneyliner, I'm a sponsor. Yeah, shout out to Moneyliner helping sponsor the show today. Shout out to you. Show me the money. Marab and Barcelos, massive dogs, especially Barcelos. Dawson is an awesome parlay piece. He could be. It's funny because the search returns for being sucked out on the scale. Okay, that makes sense. Is Islam hurt? No. How about Islam rounds 1-2 close to even? Is that close to even? I think that's crazy. I was looking at Islam rounds 1, 2, or 3, and it was like minus 185. So Islam round 1-2 at close to even. I don't mind that at all. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. It is Asmat Bekoev going against Zachary Reese. And I do have a bet here. I took a money line shot on Zachary Reese, 0.75 units at plus 187. It's currently plus 167. I probably should have waited till the props came out because I do like Zachary's inside the distance more, but I wasn't expecting his inside the distance props to be this juicy. It's like plus 295 for Reese inside the distance. I think I saw like plus 340 for Zachary Reese to win in round 1 or round 2. So I think Reese finish props are solid. Somebody pointed out the Reese finish only. I think that's solid as well. But yeah, I just wasn't that impressed with Bekoev. Bekoev, he's coming in here on very short notice. He's going to be undersized big time. He says he's 6'1" here. He's more so like 5'10", 5'11". He's going to be a big reach disadvantage as well. I don't think he has the best cardio, especially coming in here on short notice. And I think wherever this fight goes, like Bekoev's going to be in danger. He's going to be in trouble. Yes, he can get takedowns, but Zachary Reese has a very active guard. He's throwing up submissions as soon as you take him down. And then on the feet, I think Reese is the better striker. I think he has a ton of power. He's very dangerous, and I think he can get a knockout here as well. So, yeah, with everything considered, Zach Reese as an underdog, I think is very, very live. One of my favorite dogs on the card, especially since we lost the Dariush Moicano fight, and I took a money line shot on him. But again, I think the inside the distance plays are solid as well for Reese. I think he's a very, very live dog here. I get why Bekoev, people are making him the favorite. Like, full camp for Bekoev. I'm right there with you guys in terms of, yeah, he probably should be the favorite. He has a clear path to victory, which would be taking the fight down to the ground and staying on top for 15 minutes. But does he have the cardio to do that on a week's notice against a much, much bigger guy? I'm not so sure. See, I like Zach Reese here. I had Armin rounds 4-5 finishes at plus 5,000. Jeez. That's a big line there. Put it on Moicano. It's probably plus 99999. Yeah, Moicano, anything Moicano, you're going to get a great odds on it. That's for sure. He's a big dog. All right, moving on to the next fight. It is Jailton Almeida going against Sergey Spivak here. We got Jailton Almeida minus 425, Sergey Spivak plus 325. And yeah, it was kind of interesting to see what Spivak weigh in at today, like low 230s. Like this guy's weighed in at like 260s before. So I don't know what's going on there. You would think he'd want to come in, a little bit heavier against Jailton, but no, he got like a 230 something for Spivak. I thought that was really weird. But even like outside of that, I think it's a rough matchup for Spivak, and here's why. I think it's important to go back and look at Spivak's past fights where he's been taken down and on his back, and there's not many of them. He does fight primarily strikers, but there is two that come to mind. The first Tybura fight and the fight against old man Alexei Oleinik. And went back and watched that Oleinik fight, and I was like, geez, 40-year-old Alexei Oleinik took him down and mounted him instantly. It was bad. Like, I have a feeling that Sergey Spivak is just a zero off of his back. And if that's the case, Jailton's going to take him down. He's going to get in the mount, and he's going to probably finish the fight shortly after. So I love Jailton here. I think Jailton makes this look very easy. I have a sneaky suspicion that Sergey Spivak has not trained for this fight. There's been fights in the past where he's literally admitted to not training. Like he admitted to not training for the Cyril Gane fight. He didn't train for the Tom Aspinall fight. And both those fights ended in a knockout. And I think Jailton's going to take him down, and I think he's going to pound him out here and make this look pretty easy. The ref's going to step in and save Sergey. I think Spivak's probably going to quit here. So yeah, I'm getting not have trained vibes here from Sergey Spivak. And even if he did train, it's like it's a rough matchup for him. So I like Jailton. I like Jailton a lot. I'm on the under 1.5 rounds, minus 110 for 1.5 units. And I also sprinkled Jailton KO half a unit at plus 310. I think he's going to ground and pound him here. Could sub him as well, but I think he's going to make it look easy regardless. What do you think about Tagir getting the finish, seeing his last two fights won by submission, and Khabib is in the corner? I do that. I definitely lean decision. The reason being is Clayton Carpenter is a black belt. I was thinking maybe like a round 3 decision for Tagir Ulanbekov, but yeah, Tagir has finished, like you said, his last two fights, but one was against Cody Durden. I did bet the sub prop there, and the other one was Nate Maness. So I'm not sure he's going to be able to go out there and submit Carpenter, at least early. Which fights are potentially going the distance? I don't know. Last week we had 9 finishes. I think we'll get a lot as well. I think Ulanbekov Carpenter goes the distance, Sopaj Turcios goes the distance. I like those two quite a bit. Although I have the Rosa late props. I mean, the fight goes the distance there is like minus 350, so that probably goes the distance. I think Umar Dvalishvili goes the distance. Yeah, I think we get a couple fights go the distance for sure. But I do think we get a lot of finishes this week as well. Hill or Jiri, Hill slightly with like no confidence. Spivak looked very slim. He's been following that Transylvania cardio routine. He did look really slim. Coming in here, you would think he'd want to be a little bit bigger against Jailton, but guess not. What if Jailton bet the decision prop on him again, though? He won't get, I mean, the Lewis Jailton fight doesn't go decision was minus 2,000. Here, it's only like minus 325. So if he does bet a decision prop, he's not getting as good of odds there. So I doubt that. We get leader, man. What is up, AJ? Khabib won't be in the cage with him. That is true. Tagir lost a grappling match to a 45-year-old retired MMA fighter. Did not see that. Jeez. Not good. Didn't Nate Maness also go the distance with Umar? Yep, he did, and that cost me. Somehow, someway, Umar Nurmagomedov did not finish Nate Maness. Can't happen. Spivak believes in BJJ, unlike Lewis. Yes, Spivak does believe in the BJJ. All right, guys, we'll keep moving on to the next fight. It is Peyton Talbott, and this is kind of out of order. They just recently switched out the bout order. I think they did move Almeida Spivak to the main card. They moved the Reese Bekoev fight up a little bit as well. So they've changed the bout order a little bit. But we'll talk about Peyton Talbott versus Raoni Barcelos. We have Peyton Talbott as the second biggest favorite on the entire card. He is currently minus 1,100, and Raoni Barcelos is plus 725, and nothing sticking out here. So this is the same thing as Peyton's last fight for me. So last fight, he fought Yanis Gamori, and his round 2-3 props were the worst round 2-3 props I've ever seen in my life, because I've had him circled, because you always want to play Talbot round 2, round 3. That's how he always wins. His round 2, round 3, he had 0 first-round knockouts, and they priced these Yanis Gamori 2-3 props like absolute trash. And since they did that, ended up staying away, which is good because he went out there and proceeded to knock out Yanis Gamori in the first 60 seconds of the fight. Here's the same thing. It's like Talbot 2-3 are props I always want to look for, but they're just absolutely terrible prices. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it because he could knock out Barcelos in the first round. It could even go to decision. Like Raoni Barcelos is not a bum like Yanis Gamori. So I think Talbot wins. Obviously, I think he wins by knockout, but just nothing sticking out from a betting perspective. No total sticking out. Talbot inside the distance is like minus 240. The KO prop is minus 175. So this is what I'm just probably going to sit back and watch. I expect Talbot to win. I expect him to get the knockout. But in terms of any value sticking out on these props, there's just simply not. There's just simply not. So yeah, give me a big giant pass here. So no way the fight goes the distance. Not Jonathan's fault. BJJ is fake in front of Derek Lewis. And yeah, I think that fight was fixed as well. And I never call fights fixed. I think that fight was fixed. And I do think Jonathan cashed a big giant decision prop at like plus 2,000. Yo, what an unfortunate shakeup. Yeah, I hate it. I'm sure some people are very happy about it. Moicano gets a title shot. I hate it personally. I lost like half my action and lost the Benny fight, but at least we still have a main event, I suppose. Fun fight card, rough for lineups. Yeah, especially it is rough. It is rough to build lineups. Especially since we lost Dariush. Dariush was an underdog on DraftKings I did like. Now we're left with not a ton of options, so it's gonna be tough to build lineups. I still haven't done it yet, but it's going to be tough, I think. Islam has fought 5 short notice replacements now. Geez, think about it. Maybe even more. And how did those fights play out? I know Volkanovski stepped in on short notice, right? And Islam knocked him out in the first round. Bobby Green stepped in on short notice. Islam knocked him out in the first round. What else was short notice? I don't know. But yeah, he definitely has had his fair share. I shed a tear looking at Talbot 2-3 prop numbers, like plus 140. Just gross, man. Gross. Plus 150, yeah, just disgusting. Just not even worth it. Because like I said, he could knock him out in the first round, and then you lose your 2-3 props. And they're just trash numbers, man. So yeah, I'm definitely staying away. Kevin Holland fighting Red Dead Redemption. He's fighting Rainier de Ritter. I got Islam at minus 600. It was there for like one. Yeah, Islam minus 600 was there for I think like 2 minutes. So yeah, you beat a ton of line movement there. Moicano and Islam is arguably more hyped than the Armin fight, I think, especially on short notice. In terms of, yeah, maybe people think that way. It's just it's a lot less of a competitive fight. It's a lot less of a competitive fight because I did think Armin Islam. I thought Islam was going to win, but I thought it would be competitive. I thought there'd be some. Armin would definitely have some moments here. I mean, Islam's minus 1,200 favorite. Let's see. Dan Hooker was another. Yeah, he finished Dan Hooker first round submission. We got Clint from the Die Hard MMA podcast. Hi, Brady. What is up, Clint? If you guys have not already, go subscribe to Clint on his channel, the Die Hard MMA podcast. He's no longer with Home of Fight. So you got to check him out. That's where he's doing all his content on the Die Hard MMA podcast. I subscribe to him, as you guys should as well. So you guys are wondering where Clinton has been, because I think somebody in the chat said it earlier. That is where Clinton is at on the Die Hard MMA podcast. Are you insane? Money M is getting rolled. We shall see. We shall see. Are there props out on the Islam fight? Yes. FanDuel has props. BetRivers has props. I'm assuming BetOnline has props as well. So there are some props out, and a lot of them have already gotten smashed. And I'm on a prop as well for that fight. All right. Should this count as a title defense? Probably not, but it will. It will. It will. It will count. So we'll see, though. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Bogdan Guskov going against Billy Elekana. This is a fight that I'm probably just staying away from for a couple reasons. For one, you just don't want to get in a habit of laying minus 300 on a guy like Bogdan Guskov. Oh my gosh. Wow. He's minus 380 now. You don't want to get in the habit of doing that. At the same time, was not impressed with Elekana. I think he's okay everywhere. He's tough, decent cardio, decent striking, doesn't have a ton of power. What I kind of looked at was the over 1.5 rounds maybe, but Elekana did show up today weighing in at like 200, 201, came in, pretty underweight. Don't know if I love that for an over, because Guskov could go out there and just smoke this guy. Maybe Elekana just doesn't belong at all. So going to be probably staying away here. The pick is Guskov, but just nothing really sticking out outside of the over. But an over in a Bogdan Guskov fight doesn't sound that fun or intriguing to me. But yeah, it's over or pass on that one there. Moicano will get finished within the first 2 rounds. I would tend to agree. Moicano isn't going to lose like Volk. Watch. Moicano will do better. It's not gonna be too hard to do better. Volk got head kicked in the first round. Is Elekana a grappler? Not really, but I have seen him get takedowns here or there. I have seen him end up on top of guys and get some control time. My numbers have Guskov minus 613. The thing about Guskov is I don't think he's that skilled, but what he is very skilled at is hitting really hard. And that's going to win him a lot of fights. It's going to, especially against chinny guy like Ryan Spann, very chinny. Zach Palga, probably the most chinny fighter in UFC history. And then I also think he would have knocked out Johnny Walker very brutally. So, but yeah, I can't lay anywhere near minus 300, minus 600 against Bogdan Guskov. Islam 9.4 looking nice all of a sudden. Yeah, agreed. He's barely minus 200. You're talking about Guskov? I see minus 380, minus 400. I don't see minus 200 anywhere. So I don't know what book you have. But yeah, if you can get Guskov minus 200, then go for it. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Kevin Holland going against Reinier de Ridder. And if you guys watched my full card breakdown and prediction video, this fight almost gave me a stroke. I almost had a stroke on live breaking down this fight. Then that's because this is the 1-800-GAMBLER fight of the week. Like, how can you trust either one of these guys? First and foremost, Kevin Holland has the worst fight IQ in the UFC history. Pound for pound, worst fight IQ, Kevin Holland. He will go out there and literally do what you don't want him to do, or he won't do what you want him to do. No fight IQ. And you can tell in his interviews, it's like he's not watching tape on fighters. He doesn't know anything about his opponents. He's just going in there and he's making a lot of really horrible mistakes. We can go back to the Mearshart fight where he willingly grapples with Gerald Mearshart. We can go back to the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight where he's getting outclassed on the feet. He gets on top of Stephen Thompson and then helps him back up. Kevin Holland's an idiot and with no fight IQ. So how can you put any money on Kevin Holland? And then on the flip side, you have RDR, who I think is one of the most overrated fighters I think I've ever seen. This guy is the worst striker in the division. This guy has some of the worst cardio in the division. The wrestling's not great, but what he does do very well is he has incredible jiu-jitsu. If he can get you down, he's very dangerous on the mat. Multiple submissions, multiple early submissions. And what does Kevin Holland struggle with? The takedown defense. And he's been submitted twice in the UFC, once by Hamzat, once by Brendan Allen. So although I think De Ridder is very overrated, I think he's going to be a big future fade. I think he is very, very live here. But in terms of a bet, I like violence here first and foremost. I think the fight doesn't go at minus 185 as a solid parlay piece. But what also shocked me was the fact that De Ridder by submissions plus 330. I think that's his win condition. I think if he does take down Kevin Holland, the sub is going to be very live. So I actually did play that De Ridder sub prop plus 330 for 0.75 units. I think he will get Kevin Holland down early. And I think once he does, that sub will very much be on the table. If he doesn't get Kevin Holland down, he's probably going to get smoked. His striking is non-existent. And if he doesn't sub Holland within the first 7.5 minutes, I think he's going to crumble and get finished late. So a couple of different ways I can see this fight playing out, but every way I do see it playing out is with somebody getting finished. So yeah, fight doesn't go as a parlay piece. I haven't parlayed it yet, but I'm looking to parlay it with something potentially. But yeah, De Ridder by sub, if you're looking for value, and if you're on the De Ridder side especially, the sub prop at plus 330 just makes no sense to me there. 1-800-GAMBLER fights are my favorite to watch. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. Not really fun to put much money on, but yeah, they're fun. They're exciting. And this one should be very exciting. RDA strikes if he's permanently wobbled. Yeah, I don't like how he reacts to shots. He looks gassed as soon as he steps in the cage. I thought he looked awful in his last fight. De Ridder has more to prove, and if he gets into top position and they start scrambling, he's live to wrap up a sub. I wonder what De Ridder sub is. It seems interesting. Yeah, plus 330. I think it's a great line. I think it's a phenomenal line there. If anyone bets on Holland De Ridder, I hope your girlfriend, wife don't leave you because of your obvious gambling addiction. Yes. Brady said OMG 25 times while breaking down this fight. I almost had a stroke. It was tough, man. It was because I don't want to pick either one of these guys. I don't want to pick Kevin Holland to make good decisions and stuff takedowns, and I don't want to pick De Ridder because I think he's so overrated. But I got to pick somebody. De Ridder sub seems live. Yes, it's live. De Ridder by sub. RDA is going to shoot a lazy takedown and get Darst if he survives on the feet. It's a hot take, man. And those Kevin Holland sub props and late sub props, they're massive numbers. I'm kind of seeing it this way, though. I think De Ridder sub 1-2 or Holland KO 2-3. I think that's the best way to attack it there. Yeah, the minus 185, no scorecards, I think is the best way to play it. Safe way to play it. Good parlay piece, and I might be looking to parlay that with something. But yeah, I think this fight is violent one way or another. We're gonna get a heel hook finish tomorrow. Who you thinking? I don't think Kevin. I don't think Kevin Holland gets heel hooked. Who gets heel hooked? Maybe somebody in the Spivak Almeida fight gets heel hooked. I could see that. I was ready to win so much from a Darius win. Hey, I was right there with you. Right there with you. Holland by KO or Ridder by sub. Yes, I like that. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Jamal Hill going against Yuri Prochazka. We had a close pick'em fight. Now we got Jamal Hill anywhere from like minus 130 to even minus 140. Yuri Prochazka plus 110. And yeah, not much sticking out here either. This is another one that I kind of struggled with. I am picking Jamal Hill. I like the volume from Hill, the cardio, the striking. I think he's, although hittable, I think he's more defensively sound than Yuri because everybody is. What I found interesting, though, is Yuri had an interview this week, and he talked about how Yuri's going to finally put his hands up in this fight. So we're going to see Yuri Prochazka with some new striking defense implemented into his game, which should be interesting because we're not used to that. Look at Yuri's striking defense, 39% striking defense. Has to be some of the worst striking defense in the entire UFC, but apparently he's putting up his hands now. So we'll see if that works out for him. The only spot that I really had any interest in would be like the fight ends in round 2. The reason being is I feel like it's every Yuri fight where the first round kind of, feeling out process, taking their time, and then round 2 starts and Yuri just throws all game planning out the window. He turns into a complete wild man, gets very reckless in there, and just goes ball to the wall, and either he gets a finish or he gets finished himself. 5 of 6 Yuri fights have finished in round 2. So that'd be like the one long shot would be fight ends in round 2, but they're kind of onto it. It's plus 300. I think somebody probably does get served here. So some type of violence maybe makes sense, but ended up staying away from this one. The pick is Hill by second round knockout, but it's hard to count out a guy like Yuri Prochazka. This guy's there's nobody like him. He's reckless, he's wild, he's just a complete madman either way. But yeah, it should be a fun fight to watch. That's for dang sure. Banking a strat saying Yuri money. Yeah, he's plus money now. Money has came in on Hill throughout the week. Flip a coin for this fight. Tough to feel confident either way. I'm in the same boat. Same boat. My model is showing Yuri minus 122, so I'll be on him. Yep, Yuri plus money. Yuri Hill under 2.5 minus 170. I dig it. I don't mind it. 39% strike and defense, and I'm surprised it's even that high because he literally blocks punches with his face and tries to. I'll never forget the Volkan Oezdemir fight. His first fight in the UFC, he was literally headbutting the punches of Volkan Oezdemir, making Volkan's job a lot easier. So he blocks punches with his face, blocks body shots with his face. Yeah, blocks everything with his face, man. It's crazy. Man, I know we're not talking. We could talk some DFS, but man, the change has made me have to change my whole strategy now. Yeah, I had a cash lineup, a single entry lineup that I liked a lot. I built it on Monday, and it stayed the same throughout the whole week. And now it changed big time. Even like the single entry, the cash line, that had to change a lot. So from a tournament perspective, it's like there's not a ton of dogs I love. So I don't know. It's weird. It's gonna be a weird card for DFS. Jerry finish only is minus 118 on Bet Rivers. I can't see Hill knocking him out. Can't. I kind of can. Just due to the fact that he's so hittable. And maybe the durability of Yuri. I know he's very durable, but he has been finished quite a bit at this point. Maybe he's taken a lot of damage. Fight doesn't go. Yep, I like it. I like fight doesn't go. Nice for Yuri to not have to deal with the low kick, but Hill's volume in boxing could be a difference make. Hill by decision, sneaky. Yeah, I was thinking Hill by decision, and then it's just every round too. Like Yuri just throws all caution to the wind and just goes berserk. So I don't know. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is Umar Nurmagomedov going against Merab Dvalishvili. And Professor saying Merab is a great dog at his price, in my opinion, and I would tend to agree. Islam is minus 265, Merab's plus 225. So a lot of money actually came in on Merab, which is very interesting. Because I did think that Umar would be a key parlay piece for a lot of people. The way I'm seeing this fight play out is I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. I think Merab is going to look value. But what kind of scares me away is these crooked, corrupt judges, right? Who does the UFC want to win? And the answer to that is absolutely, positively Umar Nurmagomedov, without a doubt. So say this fight is competitive, because I think it's going to be competitive. I don't think either guy's going out there and running the other guy over. I think this fight goes to decision. And if it does, I kind of feel like they're just going to give the fight to the undefeated Russian and Umar Nurmagomedov, no matter what happens, right? So I kind of like the plus 5.5 point spread from Merab. It's about a pick'em, which means he has to win a total of 6 rounds across all the judges' scorecards, which I think is very doable. I think the split decision's in play here. So I haven't bet on this fight yet, and I am tempted on Merab moneyline. I'm tempted on it, because I do think it's going to be a very close fight. But at the end of the day, in terms of who gets their hand raised, it's probably the undefeated Russian in Umar Nurmagomedov, because the judges, they're crooked, they're corrupt. UFC wants Umar to win. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it play out. But yeah, I think Merab's going to give him some problems. I think it could look like a damage over control type fight. Umar landing some big shots here or there, maybe threatening with some submissions. But we know Merab's going to come in there with a crazy pace, crazy pressure, attempt a million takedowns. And I think we got a really, really competitive fight on our hands. So, yeah, no bet yet, but it's absolutely a dog or pass for me. Merab dog walks Umar. I don't think he dog walks Umar, but yeah, I don't know about that. But I do think it's going to be a competitive one. It doesn't matter where it doesn't matter where it can be at the apex. The judges are still crooked and corrupt. They're probably even more crooked and corrupt in the apex. But yeah, it's no matter where it's at, the judges, they're crooked, they're corrupt, they're blind, they're under the influence, and it's a worry. If Merab was healthy and not emotional, then it would be closer odds. Yeah, apparently like Merab's dealing with like a leg injury or something. I haven't seen the picture personally, but apparently something's going on with Merab's leg, but I have not seen it. I like the under on Merab's takedowns. Ooh, it's going to be a sweat, dude. He's going to attempt 50. Just hard for me to see him out-grapple a Nurmagomedov. I'm with you, but he's probably going to attempt a ton, so he probably does get at least a couple, right? I'm not sure if Merab can hold Umar down. He can't. I don't think he can, because Merab doesn't really hold many people down to begin with. He wasn't able to hold down even like Gustavo Lopez. Merab will make it look easy. We'll see, man. We'll see. And yeah, Merab is the CEO of EPO. This guy's gas tank's incredible. Who is Chris Crail? He's one of the judges for this fight. Oh, boy. I don't know. I haven't heard of a Chris Crail. Not good. Not good. And yeah, I'm right there with you. Merab's a great DK cash play. Yeah, Merab's one of my favorite dogs from a DraftKings perspective. 7K, one of the best DraftKings scorers of all time. Sign me up. Sign me up. What's up, Harry? All right. It is now time for the new main event. If you guys have not already, be sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. The betting breakdown video will be out this evening. And then the best bet live stream will be going on tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Be there. Looking forward to a fun best bet show. But we have Islam Makhachev going against Renato Moicano. So when this fight officially got announced, I was very pissed off because lost 3 total bets and lost an astronomical amount of closing line value across those 3 bets, which it's a big pain. But my initial thoughts was, yeah, Islam minus 1,000. Islam opened up. It says here on Bet Online he opened up minus 1,800, but on FanDuel and on DraftKings, I think he opened up like minus 6. Yeah, on FanDuel and DraftKings, he opened up minus 600. Islam. Now he is currently minus 1,200. And best price on Islam is minus 950. I think it's a very tough matchup for Moicano, but I don't think Moicano cares. Somebody in the chat said it earlier. Moicano is going to be getting paid more to lose this fight than he would have gotten beating Beneil Dariush. I'm assuming Moicano is going to get paid very handsomely there, and Moicano likes money, so he's going to like that. But in terms of this matchup stylistically, it's just a horrible matchup for Renato Moicano. I mean, this is I even thought Dariush was a tricky matchup for Renato Moicano, but this is just even worse. Yeah, I think Makhachev makes this look pretty easy. I think he can win a couple of different ways. Moicano doesn't have takedown defense. I think if Makhachev wants to get this fight down to the mat, he'll be able to do so and be able to do so very easily. But I also think Makhachev can knock out Moicano on the feet. Moicano, the chin's been questionable throughout the duration of his career. And on top of that, Makhachev, his striking is very underrated. This guy has some of the best striking in the entire division. Like, people forget that he was outstriking Dustin Poirier at distance. He was outstriking Alexander Volkanovski at distance. He knocked out Alexander Volkanovski with a head kick in the first round. So yeah, Islam's striking, I just think, is on another level. The wrestling is on multiple other levels. The grappling, probably very comparable, but yeah, Makhachev just better everywhere. So I think Makhachev wins, and I think he wins by knockout. Could be a sub as well, but I did play the under 2.5 rounds in this fight. 2 units, minus 160. I think it's still there. So I think the first book to open up odds was FanDuel Sportsbook, and it sucked because I was waiting for them to open up props, and they did. They opened up the under 2.5 at -102. That was there for 2 minutes, and then it went to like -108, and that was there for 2 minutes, and just kept getting beat down. And now the under is currently still there, I think, at -160. So I like that under there. And then they also opened up Islam Makhachev by knockout at +280. That was there for 2 minutes. So I guess I was sleeping out at the wheel or something, because they opened up props and they had very generous prices. But yeah, everything got smashed. Islam's money line got smashed. Islam inside the distance got smashed. KO got smashed. The fight doesn't go got smashed. The unders got smashed. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. So I think Islam wins. I think he wins in the first or second round. I'm thinking second round knockout for Islam Makhachev there. But yeah, I like the under more than anything, because if Moicano does win, he's probably catching Makhachev early. I just don't think that's very live at all. So yeah, give me Islam here. Let's see what we got in the chat. Had so much CLV and Darius right there with you. Right there with you. We got Islam in the chat. What is up, Islam? Best of luck tomorrow against Renato Moicano. Hopefully you go out there and you get it done within 12.5 minutes, man. So shout out to Islam Makhachev. Thank you for stopping by. We heavily appreciate you. Dixon saying Brady Marab ended up passing out on the mats after a long training session at the gym, and he had a dog poop on his leg and it got infected. That's what happened. Okay, I did not know that. Where have I been? I think Islam TKO is this one. I agree. Renato can match Islam's wrestling, but I feel like he gets knocked out on the feet. I feel like he gets knocked out on the feet as well. My model has Islam -1784. Is the biggest favorite I had so far in the model. Short life, geez. Guskov fight does not go the distance. Islam Talbott parlay -160. Yeah, probably hits. Jalen Turner arguably beat Moicano. Yeah, he did. But Jalen Turner decided not to follow up there. Let's see. I bet Islam by KO at +200. Moicano is 2-3 to the KO and gets hurt a lot. Yes, I like that. I like that Islam KO. Renato, this sacrificial lamb. Yeah, I think it's gonna be rough. Yeah, Islam KO is +280. I would have probably put a unit on that. Islam Makhachev inside the distance. Agreed. Talbott is a lock. You would hope so. He's -1100. Marab all day. We'll see. All right. And Robert saying Moicano has definitely gotten way better in his last 4 fights, but there's levels to this game. Praying Moicano pulls off a miracle, though. It's gonna be a tough one, man. It's gonna be a tough one. So, just a quick recap for UFC 311. Like I said, I lost a lot of action with the 2 fights that fell off, but for the Tagir Ulanbekov Clayton Carpenter fight, nothing yet. But I think Tagir to win by decision could be an interesting parlay piece and like a Hail Mary parlay. Sopaj Turcios, nothing there, but Sopaj maybe as a parlay piece. I think Nakamura is very live to finish Gafurov. I like the fight doesn't go at +160. It's now +130. I still like that. Carol Rosa as a live bet. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on. I think she loses the first round. And then Carol Rosa 2-3 props make a lot of sense. Grant Dawson 2-3 props. They're always in play, especially with Ferreira being 40 years old. Looks like he had a tough cut. I think Dawson 2-3s in play once again. I like Zach Reese as an underdog. I like him to win inside the distance. I bet him as an underdog, +187. I think Jonathan Almeida takes down Spivak and pounds him out in the first round. I like the under. And I like a sprinkle on Almeida by KO. Nothing in the Talbott fight. Nothing in the Guskov fight. For Holland to Ritter, I think the Ritter by submission at +330 is a stupid line. No matter who you like in the fight. I mean, that's a dumb line. I think it's very live, and I played it. And then I also think the fight doesn't go is a good parlay piece. Hill Prochazka, don't love anything, but should be violent. Nurmagomedov, Dvalishvili, Dogger Pass with Marab. kind of like the plus 5.5. Should be a close fight, kind of like split decision, but nothing in the co-main. And then in the main, I have 2 units on the under 2.5, hoping somebody gets served within the first 12.5 minutes. And I think that somebody's probably Moicano getting served there. So, yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at for this week. Talbott via stoppage, agreed. Odds aren't great on it, though. Odds are not great on it, though. Nobody should be over minus 1,000. We've been seeing it more and more these last couple of years. People are becoming bigger and bigger favorites. It's crazy. And I agree. I don't think anybody should be minus 1,000. Maybe like rare scenarios where, say, it's Alexander Romanov versus Chase Sherman. Yeah, sure, minus 1,000. Bo Nickel, Jamie Pickett. Sure, Bo Nickel minus 1,000 makes sense, right? But outside of that, I agree. Nobody really should be minus 1,000. All right. So yeah, guys, best of luck for UFC 311. Check out the betting breakdown video, which will be out in a little bit. Check out Best Bet, which will be out tomorrow at 4 Eastern, going live there 2 hours prior to these prelims. And should be an interesting card. Should be a fun card. Best of luck, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.